Hello and good evening. Welcome to Vikings Stadium as we get ready for this matchup between the DVC College Vikings and the Simon Fraser Falcons. And we expect an intense matchup here tonight as DVC comes off their last game with Sierra Nevada College, and an intense matchup coming down to the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, if I were you fans, I would look for DVC to come out and try to start early and try to pick up where they left off and right before the end of that game, and hopefully not have any setbacks from how that last game ended.
Indeed, and Simon Fraser coming all the way from British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah, I was not expecting that one. I was not expecting DVC to play these guys, but hopefully that there'll be some good competition. I'm sure that they will be.
Indeed, representing for the North, Simon Fraser. As we anticipate the face-off here with number 8, Ethan McLaren for Simon Fraser. Cool night here in Pleasant Hill. Cool breezy evening. And we're ready to start up this matchup. It's 7 p.m. on October 6, 2018, and DVC wins the face-off as number 39, Lawrence Johnson, wins the face-off, and there's a goal right off the bat!
Yeah, it was nice to see DVC get off to a good start. Just as I said, I expect them to go right after the SFU team with an early goal.
Attaboy, Lawrence Johnson. Right off the face-off, straight off the opening tip, right into the goal. And it is 1-0 DVC right off the bat, just shedding 8 seconds off of the clock. And here we go to anticipate the second face-off of the evening. But man, we're off to a great start for DVC.
Yeah, if you remember last week, DVC had a big problem with one of those face-offs against Sierra Nevada College.
And here he comes again. Good old Larry. As DVC brings it up to number 20, Wesley Yost, as he goes off to the right side, swinging it back to Yost. Yost fighting off some good stick maneuver there. It's number 7, Paul Newpower goes off to the left side. Newpower off to Jake Pimentel.
Yeah,
Power up
DVC
top.
Just waiting for their shot right now. Trying to be patient. They don't want to rush anything. Go up to a early 2-0 lead.
Yost across the middle. Back up to Johnny Madden. Madden has a misfire on the shot on goal. All right. And Simon Fraser gets a possession here as they bring it across midfield. And they are just ambushing this DVC side. There's a fumble on the toss there. That's number 3, Mark Yingling. As number 6, Alan Gain gets it off to the right side to number 2, Bruno Bonato. Good ball movement here by Simon Fraser, being able to spread out the DVC defense here. Number 16, Liam O'Connor, the attacksman, trying to put some pressure on the DVC defense here. But it goes back out to Bruno Bonato. Simon Fraser taking their time on this one. And there's going to be a little opening there in a keyhole. And that's going to be a goal for Simon Fraser for number 27, Nick Ritzik.
Yep, and right after DVC got their goal, that was not what DVC was expecting to happen. They were hoping to get off to a strong start and hopefully not let SFU get back into this game, just like what happened last week. Look for DVC to come back and win this face-off and hope to be more aggressive when they get the ball back.
As Simon Fraser ties it up at 1. Anticipating another face-off here. Not too shabby here by Simon Fraser, able to strike back very quickly after DVC was able to score on the opening tip-off. face-off, excuse me. And Simon Fraser's going to have the possession here.
Yeah, I'm sure that Simon Fraser knows exactly what happened to DVC last time about they had the lead against Sierra Nevada and they blew it, so look for Simon Fraser to maybe try to come out and match the aggression that DVC's coming out with right now.
And yet again, good ball movement. And number 27, Brendan Craig being able to spread out the defense there in an attacksman. I believe it was number 5, Nolan Nelson. Excuse me, number 3, Mark Yingling on the goal.
Yeah, if you remember last week, Logan, the same thing happened against Sierra Nevada. Both teams came out, they scored a couple goals early, and there wasn't too much after that except for late in the game. Hopefully that's not the case this time, and we'll see some good defense and some good offense match out today.
Indeed, Simon Fraser able to show some good quickness there, being able to strike 2 goals back-to-back within about 40 seconds of each other. Coming out of the gates hot. And here we go, and DVC's going to win the face-off here yet again. And he's going to bring it up top here. It's number 4, Johnny Madden. Receives it, heading off to the left side. Madden off to Pimentel. Long-haired warrior. Up to Todd Tabol. Tabol fights through the seam and gets a good shot on goal, and that's going to be a goal for Todd Tabol.
Yep.
Attaboy.
That's just what DVC needed right there, coming off, letting that early goal they scored. They let SFU climb back into the lead, but it was good for them to bounce back and show some aggression and get back and tie that game up.
And put it on the board. We are tied at 2s. Very back and forth matchup here in Viking Stadium. We are tied at 2. We're able to get 4 shots on goal. We don't even got 3 minutes off the clock yet, just barely. That's going to be number 7, Paul Newpower, scooping it up after the face-off. Newpower fighting off the defender, passing the ball out. That's the number 20, Wesley Yost. Wesley Yost putting a good lateral move on the defender there, passing it in to the interior of the Simon Fraser defense. There's going to be a little bit of unnecessary roughness right there. It's number 18, Ryan Dixon, draws the penalty on that one.
Yeah, so far, just like I mentioned earlier, DVC looks like they're coming out with these face-offs. As I said, they had a hard time last week trying to maintain those, but it looks like that they're doing a better job getting good aggression out there, and they're making an impact.
Indeed, impact that they try to make. They want to separate themselves, for they were not able to separate themselves from Sierra Nevada by a good score differential in last week's matchup.
No, they weren't. They had the lead going into the end of the game, as you guys remember, but just weren't able to step down and finish the game. But it looks like they're coming out with a little bit more aggression after probably a better week of practice, and they're ready to show us what they got.
Indeed, they want to put the pedal to the metal, as they don't want to give the give another chance for Simon Fraser.
But yeah, with them traveling this far, you know that they're not going to want to lose this game. They're going to want to win more than anything. If they're traveling this far, they're going to put up a good fight against DVC. So look for DVC to try to maintain aggression and not let up.
Exactly. And as there's more confusion on the field, we get back to play here after the penalty. And the possession will...
Looks like it's going to be...
A little bit confusion there.
SFU's
Seems to be a double slash call on... which is offset, which ends up giving the possession to Simon Fraser. Off to the right side. And that's going to be mishandled, but saved luckily, by number 1, Owen McCulloch. But
it's a nice athletic
not
play
enough
for him to
effort
keep
on that
in
one for it's
bounds.
going to be going back to DVC. And that's number 9 right there. Ryan Alamagno facing some pressure. Getting swarmed by Simon Fraser defenders, and that's going to be a turnover there. It's number 27. Brendan Craig picks that up. And good aggression shown there by Simon Fraser, and that's going to be a goal by Mark Yingling. Yet again, Mark striking again.
Fancy footwork right there. Made the Viking defender fall down and just had a wide open shot on goal. It couldn't have been much easier for him on that shot.
Showing some great elusiveness, being able to attack and get his shoulder square with the goal and getting a good shot on goal there. It's number 3, Mark Yingling.
Yeah, there's not much the Vikings goalie could have done there except for just hope that it wasn't going to be a good shot. He was about 5 yards away from the net, and he just had a wide open rip on goal.
Yet again, another scoring exchange as Simon Fraser goes up 3-2. Yet again, another face-off, and we're going to see if DVC can come out yet again, and yes, they do, to win the face-off, but it is deflected by a Simon Fraser defender, and there's going to be a little bit of pushing right there, and they're going to keep the possession here.
A little bit of a collision there at the 35.
A little bit of a collision there, and that's going to be a little bit of unnecessary roughness, I believe, and a hold from the grounding position there by a Simon Fraser defender.
Looked like the Simon Fraser defender just tackled him right to the ground. There really wasn't much that the Vikings could have done there. He just got tackled right at the 35-yard line.
Indeed, a bit difficult to make a key tackle with gloves on.
Even though it's a football field.
Even though it's a football field, you can't emulate what goes on Friday nights and Saturday days and Sundays. My goodness. But that's going to go to DVC.
Referee's trying to sort everything out. Looks like there's a little bit more confusion, but getting back ready for action.
Indeed, as the refs pick up their flags, they're just trying to keep the players safe on that one. Especially seeing someone go down to the turf. They don't want to see anything going on, but they blew the whistle to stop play. And as we resume play into this one, number 23, Zach Dixon, passing the ball in as he takes it up. He's right in center field as he tries to pass it out to Justin Warren. Warren tries to make a pass, but he drops it, and he's going to be shoved out of bounds there. And a change of possession here for Simon Fraser. And it's going to go back to the goalie as number 10, Tim Turnbull, passes it up to number 19, Jordan Roberts. And Roberts is going to fight off some defenders, and his stick's going to fly out of his hands. And DVC is going to show some aggression, be able to move the ball back onto their side.
Looked like maybe he's holding on to the ball a little bit too long there. He had 3 Vikings defenders on him. He didn't pass it. It was bound to happen. The Vikings defense took great advantage of that situation.
Indeed. Showing some pressure there, but that's going to be number 23, Zach Dixon, with the shot on goal. And that's going to be a goal for the Vikings.
It's nice to see the Vikings
tying it up at 3.
Bounce back. They had good defense. They had good offense. It's good to see them execute on both sides of the ball right there.
Attaboy. And that's a great job by Zach Dixon there. Getting square on the left hash mark there on the football field. Being able to whiz that one in by about 20 feet out from goal. Now, what's the key here,
Face-offs.
Mr. Greco?
It's been face-offs, Logan, Mr. Nonis. Vikings so far, they've come out. They've won, I think, 5 out of the 3 face-offs, and hopefully they'll try to double that margin and get another quick shot on goal.
And whistle's going to be blown, but it's going to end up Simon Fraser. In the hands of Simon Fraser. It's going to be headed over there, and they're going to be passing out near the DVC end zone on the football field. And that's going to be back up to number 36, Alex Wakarik. And a little bit of a mishandle, and that's going to be a change of possession there. Is a little bit of a misguided pass there.
It's nice to see that both teams are coming out aggressive early.
And two bad passes back-to-back by two different teams on that one, as they are able to get the ball back into midfield, but he runs it back up to the top. As that was number 5, Nolan Nelson, getting it back up to Cam Way, the attacksman. Way getting it to Aiden Cateau. As number 3, Mark Yingling, a key attacksman for this Simon Fraser offense here, being able to put some points on the board, producing, being efficient on the board here, Mr. Greco.
That's what you got to do against this Vikings defense. Just in general against this Vikings team. They're very strong. They know what they have to do to win, and they're going to take full advantage of every opportunity that's given to them.
Indeed, and Simon Fraser University showing some slippery sticks here at Vikings Stadium, as they have mishandled a couple balls here, being able to exchange possessions with DVC, and we're going to see if DVC could execute and try and bounce back and counteract these lost possessions made by Simon Fraser.
Yeah, it was nice to see that Simon Fraser didn't score right there. DVC had a sloppy turnover around the 45-yard line when that Simon Fraser picked it up, but they had good defense and almost just scored right there.
Shot on goal by Paul Newpower, but that's going to be a back over for Simon Fraser. As number 10, Tim Turnbull, takes it up. Turnbull getting it over.
So far, the Simon Fraser team has shown some good speed on the outside, making it hard for the Vikings defense to keep up with them. They've had a couple open shots on goal. Vikings defense have been able to recover. Hopefully that's not something that will come into play and hurt the Vikings later in this game.
As Mark Yingling showing some relentlessness going into the interior of the DVC defense, and that's going to be a shot on goal, but too much pressure caused there by the DVC defense, and it's not going to be enough effort by Yingling, as it's going to be a turnover there by Simon Fraser, as DVC gets it here. Showing good ball movement here. Little screen set near the mid-line. It's number 20, Josh Ray, gets it out to Pimentel.
Vikings are showing some good patience right here. It's nice to see.
Indeed, as Dixon gets it to Paul Newpower. Paul Newpower back to Pimentel.
Nice little spin move at the 35 there.
Pimentel to Wesley Yost. As Yost has some patience surveying the field near the 30-yard line here on the football field, and he's going to attack a little bit there, and he's going to give a little side shot action on that one, not getting his hip square, and it's going to be a little bit off.
Yeah, there's missed wide right there, but that was a nice shot on goal. He had the open look, just try to take advantage.
Trying to make something happen, giving a good move, and a little shimmy shake on the Simon Fraser defense right there, and that's going to be a goal for the Vikings.
Yeah, they're coming out aggressive. They had some patience right there, but when they get inside, when they're near that goal, that they're just going all in. They're being really aggressive, and it's really nice to see. They're showing much more energy than they showed the last time that we talked to you guys.
And a missed shot on goal on his first attempt, but able to succeed on the second time around. Number 20, Wesley Yost for the Vikings, putting them up 4-3 here with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go. As the Vikings almost win another faceoff yet again, but Simon Fraser coming out hard, getting it into the interior. Has number 27, Brendan Craig, striking back quickly. Tying it up. It only took 10 seconds to put another point on the board right there. My goodness. Another goal on the board there. Ties it up with 5:30. Yeah, 10 seconds.
I'm not totally sure what happened there. It looked like before you could blink, Simon Fraser just was at the net and they just had a wide open shot. I'm not totally sure what happened with the DVC defense on that one. But it's okay. It's part of the game. Everyone has a couple bad series every once in a while. You just hope to minimize them.
As we come back out, and DVC wins the face-off as we're in an intense matchup, back and forth, like boxers trading punches here tonight in Viking Stadium.
Yeah, DVC's coming out. They're showing a lot of energy. It's nice to see it. It didn't look like that they were this amped up last time, but it's good to see.
As Todd Tabol tries to get the pass out to number 20, Wesley Yost. Wesley Yost getting into the interior of Simon Fraser defense right here.
A little bit of stick battling going on over there. It's 2 versus 1, but it looks like the Simon Fraser defender is going to come up with the ball.
And that's going to turn into a 2-on-2, and they're going to get the steal, and it's going to be a misfired pass. But as DVC rushes to get the ball back into bounds, get the clock back to running right there, maybe catching some defenders off guard, but indeed showing some great tempo and an ankle breaker. My goodness, showing shades of Allen Iverson. And then he's going to nutmeg him, and that's going to be a goal for the Vikings.
You're right about shades of Allen Iverson. He crossed him up. He put one cleat in the turf, and he made a move, and that defender had no control over what was happening over that.
Woo! Broke his ankles and put it through the legs. That's a goal for the Vikings for number 24, Brian Torres. My goodness. What a talented young play on that one. Showing ability across all sports on that one. Nothing beats vision. And we're back off for this face-off as DVC is up 5-4 in this back-and-forth matchup. And it's not even the end of the first quarter, Brandon.
No, it's not. This is already more points than we saw. I feel like all of the first half of the last time the Vikings played, but here they come. They won another face-off, and they're looking quick. They're being aggressive, and that's exactly what they want to do going into this game.
Indeed, like watching a World Series matchup between the Houston Astros and Cleveland Indians. It's number 2, Justin Warren, is behind the goal, and he tries to get an interior pass to Pimentel, and that's going to be swatted off by number 1, Owen McCulloch. Great defensive play there by McCulloch.
Yeah, that really was. He saw that DVC had a wide open shot. He did whatever he could. He just threw a stick out there, blocked the shot.
Great defensive play by the 6'1", 185-pound sophomore on that one. As DVC takes another shot on goal, and it's going to be off to the right side, but they're going to bring in the inbound here, as that's number 2, Justin Warren, from the left corner there. Passing up to Yost. Yost getting up to Dixon. As Dixon takes his time surveying the field. Getting the Vikings into position as Yost gets into the interior of Simon Fraser. A little bit off to the left on that shot. Heading off into the night here at Viking Stadium.
Yeah, from this angle, it looked like that shot missed by just probably less than a foot. That was really close, really good shot on goal, just didn't go in. Those are the opportunities you want to see the Vikings have, though. They've had a lot of good opportunities this game.
Indeed, and some pushing and shoving in an attempt to behind the back shot on goal there by number 4, Johnny Madden. It's just not going to be enough there for the Vikings, but a little shade of a little razzle and dazzle there, but it's not going to be enough as Simon Fraser gets it back on another attempt on shot on goal here.
I think it was Madden who did that against Sierra Nevada last week with a behind-the-back goal, if you remember that, Logan.
Oh, yeah, we saw some talented goals last week. Being able to see some Some flashy passes there against Sierra Nevada. And we're going to get a timeout here and a quick break here at Vikings Stadium. And DVC Vikings are up against Simon Fraser Falcons 5-4 with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go here. And you're tuned into Viking Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. And we're live and we're back here at Viking Stadium as Simon Fraser gets the inbound back in. As number 16, Liam O'Connor, passes it off to the left side, and that's number 14, a little speedy Cam Way, getting back into the interior near midfield. Getting it to number 27, Brendan Craig with a shot on goal, a little bit high on that one.
Yeah,
but indeed a great effort there by Simon Fraser.
Wide open, just missed it. But that's all good. That was a good save by the goalie. He's right where he needed to be.
And a little bit more slippery stick action here by Simon Fraser as they slip up and yet again mishandle the ball on their own side as DVC tries to get it back across their own midline, but getting swarmed by Simon Fraser defenders there on that one. As DVC will get another shot to get it back across midfield. And that's going to be number 17, Garrett Carter. Off to Wesley Yost. Yost getting swarmed by 3 Simon Fraser defenders, and they're going to win that battle on that one, 3 against 1. As number 16, Liam O'Connor, swoops it up.
Yeah, something you've seen from Simon Fraser all night, that they've been patient around midfield, but once they get inside, they look to score early.
Indeed. Seeing the scheme of their defense, seeing that they wait patiently until someone is isolated and then they're able to swarm them with about 3 to 4 defenders and able to get that ball out is Simon Fraser. But a little bit of a misguided pass, possibly wanting to get a call as DVC, but they're not going to get it, and that's going to be, actually, excuse me, they are going to get it. As we see a little bit of dirty laundry on the field, that's a yellow bird.
I love it, Logan.
As DVC gets the possession here. And we're going to have the Vikings take it up at about midfield here. As the players get positioned. And we're back in action here as number 2, Justin Warren, inbounds it. Excuse me, that was number 7, Paul Newpower, and he gets it back, and he's going to get it off to Pimentel. Pimentel gets it up to Dixon, and he's going to get a shot on goal, but it's going to be deflected and off into near the scoreboard here at Viking Stadium.
Yeah, with 21 seconds left, look for DVC to maybe try to hold the ball, try to get the last shot of the first quarter.
Indeed, trying to burn some clock, but trying to get it in with the last 20 seconds. Indeed, as number 7, New Power, tries to get another shot on goal with 10 seconds left, and it's deflected, but they might get another chance here as the clock starts to run down with 7, 6, 5 seconds left, and they're going to get into the interior, and the Vikings are going to get a goal with time running down. With 1.5 seconds left, the Vikings strike to get up by 2 points here in the first quarter, 6-4.
Yep, that's exactly what DVC needed going to the end of the first quarter with a 2-point lead, a little bit of a cushion and some breathing room against this team.
Indeed, striking with very minimal time left in the first quarter.
Just 1 second left, just going to have time for the face-off.
Indeed, very little time left here. Only time for a face-off and maybe a half-court shot here. And that's going to be time here in the first quarter. And indeed, an intense matchup. We're going back and forth here at Vikings Stadium as the Vikings lead Simon Fraser 6-4. And seeing a great defensive battle here and indeed a turnover battle here. What do you think, Brandon Greco?
Yeah, both teams started out aggressive. They scored early goals, and SFU kind of slowed down a little bit, but DVC's kind of picked up later on in the first quarter and made up that 1-point deficit. Now they're up by 2 to end the quarter.
Indeed, an exciting matchup, and we can't wait to come back and resume the live broadcast here at Vikings Stadium as DVC leads SFU 6-4. And we're entering into the second quarter, and you're tuned into Viking Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. As the players run back onto the field and we anticipate the second quarter here at Vikings Stadium, the DVC Vikings lead 6-4 against Simon Fraser.
DVC's done a good job with the face-offs tonight. Look for that to continue against
Indeed, showing
SFU
some
the
good
rest of the
aggression.
game.
And they're going to be able to win this face-off here, but a little bit of slippery action there. And they're going to give it back to themselves, and they're going to be able to keep it. And that's Dixon off to the left side, number 23.
There was a little bit of confusion there. Wasn't totally sure who had the ball at the end of that one, but DVC was able to win it, and then after lose it, regain possession.
Indeed, losing it at their shoelaces as Dixon tries to get a shot on goal, and that's going to be deflected. Great defense there by Arturo Perez. Excuse me. Great camera work by number 13, Arturo Perez for the Vikings, but that was number 13, Tej Grewal for Simon Fraser. As we have a visitor up in the broadcast booth for our production team, number 13, Arturo Perez. And flag is going to come out, and a little bit of a mishandled pass as it goes out of bounds. And the corner, and a little bit of a wasted possession there. And DVC is going to get it back, and they're going to take it out from the left corner. Near the D of Diablo Valley here on the football field. Nearing the 10-yard line is Pimentel. Getting it to number 18, Ryan Dixon. And Ryan Dixon's going to throw a four-seam fastball.
Just missed wide right, but had a good shot on goal. This is exactly what you want to see coming out the second quarter.
Indeed, just a bit outside on that shot attempt by Dixon. And Dixon's going to get it out to Dixon. Dixon to Dixon. And number 7, Paul Newpower, is going to get swarmed by the Simon Fraser defenders, and they're going to come out successful. And then a little bit of a aggressive defense on that one, but too much pushing and shoving there. And they're going to have to go man down on this one. And penalty is going to be called a cross check. As we get reset here. Seeing the keys in this matchup, Brandon Greco. Seeing the defense played here and the back and forth matchup here. What could be the keys here for Simon Fraser in this matchup tonight?
Simon Fraser, I would say limit the face-off success of the Vikings so far. I know I've said that often, but so far the DVC has come out strong with those, and it seems like they've won the majority of them. And they didn't really do that last week, and they did a good job of getting better at that.
Indeed, and it seems that the speed and urgency of Simon Fraser's attackmen and them able to swarm on defense is being able to contribute to their benefit here in this matchup. And that's number 19, Jordan Roberts, behind the goal as he gets it up to number 16, Liam O'Connor. And O'Connor down to number 27, Brennan Craig, and Craig's going to get it out. And 3 defenders on 1 there for Simon Fraser as a DVC defender tries to lengthen his stick out, and it's not enough. And that's going to be a goal for Simon Fraser for number 19, Jordan Roberts.
Yeah, Roberts had a wide open shot there about 10 yards from the goal and didn't miss his opportunity.
Good size, number 19, Jordan Roberts, standing at 6 feet, 205 pounds, the sophomore, scoring the goal on that one.
Yeah, that's about the 4th wide open shot that Simon Fraser's had on goal, but only, I think, the 2nd one that they've converted, so hopefully they don't take too much advantage of those opportunities throughout the rest of the game.
Indeed, seeing key components of Simon Fraser being able to spread out the DVC defense to get interior passes to strike fast on those quick passes into the interior. As a brief pause here, and the matchup goes as number 39, Lawrence Johnson, gets it off to the right side to Newpower. Johnny Madden, number 4, as he gets it out to Dixon. And Dixon up to number 20, Wesley Yost, at the top of the field. And a little bit of move there, but he's going to be defended nicely by Simon Fraser, by number 8, Ethan McLaren, showing some good reactions on that one, being able to shut down Yost on that attempt to attack as Dixon is facing off with number 1, Owen McCulloch. And McCulloch showing some physicality on this one, being able to contain Dixon. And Dixon's going to get it off to the left side, off to Yost. Yost putting a single cut, lateral move, trying to get the ball into the inside to the new power. And it's going to be a little bit of a misguided pass, and that's going to roll out of bounds.
Yeah, if you remember last time the Vikings played, it seemed like they went off to a good start in the first quarter and then kind of slowed down to start the second quarter. And so far, that's what's happening in this game right here.
Indeed, and maybe some fatigue setting in, but we're going to get another turnover here as Dixon swoops that one up. But definitely a different change of pace here for the attacksman for DVC. As he tries to get an interior pass to number 18, Ryan Dixon. It's going to be misfired as number 8, Ethan McLaren, gets off to the right side, and he's going to be shoved out of bounds. And the possession's going to be changed. Great defense there by Pimentel. And number 5, Todd Tabol, being able to shove the defender out, putting some pressure on.
Yeah, that was a good job of knowing the situation. They knew exactly where they were and what they needed to do. It was good execution by the Vikings right there.
Indeed, Pimentel showing a couple spin moves post-action, trying to put a little move on him, but getting into the trench of the Simon Fraser defense on that one, getting knocked down. And that just shows the hospitality that the defense has here for Simon Fraser.
Yeah, not totally sure how he held on to that ball for that entire time. He was getting hit by like 3 different defenders at the same exact time.
Indeed, a hostile trench down there for the goal for Simon Fraser, as we're going to take a break here at Vikings Stadium. As we see an intense matchup, and it's only a 1-score differential here for DVC is up against SFU, 6-5. With about 10 minutes left to go here, and we're going to be back here, and you're tuned into Vikings Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. All right, as we bring back to you the action here in Vikings Stadium. DVC leading 6-5. Clock gets back to running as Pimentel getting off to Yost. Yost getting it up to Dixon. Patiently waiting, observing the field. And getting in. Good zone coverage here by Simon Fraser. As they get the turnover here, and that's going to be a call of holding. They're going to be called back. And indeed, showing some great isolation here by Simon Fraser defense, being able to get into 2-on-1 matchups here against the DVC attacksmen.
Definitely seen a different look for the DVC offense. The first quarter they came out somewhat aggressive, but right now they look patient. They're just waiting, and a lot of turnovers as you just see right there.
Indeed, a misfired pass, and it's going to be way off to the right, but Simon Fraser going to get back onto their side, and they're going to try and take advantage here. As number 2, Bruno Bonato, slows the pace back down.
Kind of seeing that for both teams so far this second quarter. Just a slow pace, dragging it out a little bit, waiting for their shot before halftime. Both teams obviously want to go ahead with the lead.
Indeed, coming out hot in the first quarter as they were going back and forth very quickly, but definitely the pace has started to settle down as both teams have been trying to get more strategic here in their attacks.
Goal, Simon Fraser.
It's going to be a goal for Simon Fraser. Tying it up here.
I didn't even see that one go in.
My goodness, the quickness of Simon Fraser getting past the naked eye here at Viking Stadium. Tying it up here, 6-6 with 9 minutes and 22 seconds left. So quick and silent, you could have heard a pin drop here in Viking Stadium. As Simon Fraser is almost out of bounds here, but not quite. As number 27, Brendan Craig, takes it off to the left side, and he's going to get into the interior of the DVC defense, and that's going to be another goal here for Simon Fraser, and they're going to go up 7-6.
He almost fell down around the 25-yard line, but did a good job of keeping his balance, keeping his feet together, and maintained possession and scored the goal. Not what DVC was looking for right there. After being up 2, they quickly find themselves down 1 goal here, a little 3-point deficit.
Indeed, number 27, Brendan Craig, the 5'9", 160-pound freshman for Simon Fraser, getting the goal on that one. As SFU goes up 7-6 against the Vikings. The Vikings come out against this faceoff, and they win it, but a good deflection there as he gets his stick in the way by number 14, Cam Way. Against the Vikings attacksman as number 5, Todd Tabol, goes across midfield. Off to the right side, getting an interior pass intended for Dixon, and Dixon mishandles it, and it's going to be a turnover there. And number 8, Ethan McLaren, just turning on the Jets across midfield, getting it off to the other side. And that's going to be number 5, Nolan Nelson.
Seen a lot of turnovers by the Vikings so far, and SFU's taking good advantage of this, as you saw right there, just another turnover.
Indeed, we're able to see DVC execute on some slipped carries here from Simon Fraser, but in most recent times we've been able to see Simon Fraser being able to get some turnovers, and they're going to start getting in some interior passes, but that's going to be a little bit misguided as DVC swoops that one back up. As number 17, Garrett Carter, shows some elusiveness, getting his legs warmed up, getting off to the right side as he gets it off to New Power, number 7. As New Power tries to get it back into the interior, nearing the goal for DVC. As Wesley Yost surveys the field here. And
Once
number
again, going
23,
back to
Zach
that
Dixon.
slow pace.
Dixon getting a little jab there in the ribs, but no call. All clean there. As we're showing some airtight defense here by Simon Fraser, by number 25, Cole Zubik. Showing some airlock defense on that one.
Yeah, number 23 for the Vikings.
A shot on goal here, and it's going to be a miss, but we're going to get another attempt. And it's going to go off the right, on the right post on that one, I believe. And not a goal for the Vikings, but play continuing here at Viking Stadium.
Yeah, the Vikings are going to that slow pace, but it looks like recently they're trying to be more aggressive, taking some more shots on goal.
And that was number 18, Ryan Dixon, on the shot on goal, a little bit off to the right. Zach Dixon takes the ball in for the Vikings. Some good physicality displayed tonight by Simon Fraser. Showing no give on the exterior D. As Yost tries to find a gap, but he's doubled when trying to enter into the interior for this Simon Fraser. As Johnny Madden gets an attempt at shot on goal, and it's going to be wide left.
And what you don't want to happen here is you don't want DVC to start pressing. It's almost been 10 minutes into this quarter, and they're yet to find the back of the net against Simon Fraser, so they might be putting up some bad shots just to try to score, but if they go back to what they were doing, they should have no problem regaining that lead.
As Dixon whips it out to Yost, and Yost is going to get a clean screen here by number 36, Nathaniel Withoft. And that's going to be a turnover for the Vikings. As number 16, Liam O'Connor, takes it back across midfield. And showing some good quick passes and ball movement here by Simon Fraser, but it's going to be mishandled and deflected, and it's going to be back for the Vikings. As number 21, Gerardo Roque, passes it in, and yet again another mishandled pass here by the Vikings, and that's going to go back to SFU.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure what happened there. He just he passed the ball across the field, but there was no one around where it landed. Just skipped right over a couple defenders and bounced right out of bounds. Some Vikings players showed a little bit of confusion after that pass was made.
As number 8, Ethan McLaren, takes it in from the far sideline there and gets it off to number 22, Arjun Singh. Singh getting off to Nick Ritzik. And good speed displayed here by the Simon Fraser attacksman. And we've seen that quickness displayed here tonight, haven't we, Mr. Greco?
Yes, we have, Mr. Known as the SFU offense. They've been showing a lot of speed throughout the whole game, as you've seen on a couple turnovers, some breakaways. It's just that they're being aggressive, and that's exactly what you expect from them. They've traveled a long way for this game. You know, they're going to be in tip-top shape for the next 2.5 quarters.
Indeed, a great defensive effort shown there by goalie Dylan Brown, number 15, as he deflects the shot on goal, and that's going to be a shot on goal by number 6, Alan Gain. And that's going to be way above the goal on that one, and it's going to be misfired, but we're going to get another chance for Simon Fraser as they keep the possession here, as Gain is going to try and get back into the same spot into the interior that he tried to get before, and he's going to be successful on the second attempt. And they're going to go up 8-6 here at Viking Stadium.
Yeah, you saw that speed that Logan was talking about earlier. He just ran right past the Viking defender and had another wide open shot on goal.
And the exact same strategy on the attack there by number 6, Alan Gain. You saw the first attempt. He tried to get in there, and he had the open shot, but it was a little bit of misfire. But might as well go right back to it. And as he just bulleted in the interior, and as we were talking about the quickness of the Simon Fraser attack, just a perfect display there, right there. A perfect exemplification right there by number 6, Alan Gain, as they go up 8-6.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to do the same thing twice. Obviously, the first time missed wide left, tried to go for that back upper left corner, but second time it was successful. Got the job done for his team.
Indeed. As Simon Fraser is going to take a timeout here. We're going to take a quick break here at Viking Stadium in this intense matchup as Simon Fraser goes up 8-6 here. And you're tuned into Viking Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. We're back and we're live here from Vikings Stadium as we have an intense matchup here with DVC and SFU, as SFU leads the Vikings here 8-6 with about 3 minutes left to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, so far in the second quarter, it's been a 4-point swing for.
And getting into the interior
SFU.
quickly, Simon Fraser with a shot on goal, and they're going to get a second attempt there, and it's going to be good for number 16, Liam O'Connor.
Yeah, DVC's given up 5 goals in this quarter, and they're yet to score. This is not what was expected. They've definitely slowed down from their aggressive pace in the first quarter. They've been a little bit more relaxed and mellow, and you've seen some turnovers because of that gameplay.
Indeed, a little bit of a more composed second quarter here by the Vikings, not showing as much aggression as they did in the first quarter, and a little bit of slack here shown. But Simon Fraser being able to take advantage of that little bit more of a composed offense here by the Vikings, being able to go up at, like you said, 5 goals here in the second quarter, as the score differential is by 3, as Simon Fraser's up 9-6 here in the second quarter. And DVC is going to have the possession here as Dixon is striking across midfield as he's getting jabbed consistently.
And at the rate Simon Fraser's scoring on DVC right now, you might just expect them to try to hold the ball a little bit going into halftime and try not to let that lead grow too much more on them going into the second half of this game.
Indeed, trying to make the score differential a little bit closer, but also trying to reserve them from making the score differential more, as DVC tries to burn some clock, but at the same time trying to narrow the gap here. But a little bit missed shot on that one is going to cause Simon Fraser to get the inbound here, as number 8, Ethan McLaren, is facing off with on a 3-on-1 on this one, but he gets out of it. But a little bit of a misfired pass here as it goes over the head of number 7, Aiden Cateau.
Yeah, the Vikings have had some opportunities in this quarter. They just haven't been able to execute, and Simon Fraser has done the exact opposite. They've been able to execute on their opportunities, and then on the rare occasion that they haven't, they got the ball back and looked like they didn't miss a beat.
As number 6, Alan Gain, getting into the interior of the DVC defense on this one, getting a good shot on goal on that one.
Yeah, that was one of the few times where they had a wide open shot and didn't find the back of the net. That was nice to see, but they're coming out aggressive.
Indeed, and showing a good attempt getting open there by Gain for his 3rd attempt on the night on shot on goal, but getting open every time. He's just not necessarily executing and get the shot he wants, but here he goes again, possibly trying to get into the interior, and he's going to get another shot on goal, and it's going to go off the leg of the DVC goalie, number 15, Dylan Brown. But 1 for 4 so far for Gain.
Yeah, you can see that one hit off the goalie's leg. He's bending over, touching his ankle a little bit where it hit him. That one came in with some velocity on it. Looked like it maybe bruised him up a little bit.
Indeed, and going by the golden baseball rule, not to rub it in. It's number 15, Dylan Brown. But the cross players have some durability. I mean, they're able to show some athleticism throughout the field and playing a contact sport at the same time, but having to be athletic enough to be able to be elusive.
Yeah, you definitely have to have some toughness to play this sport. Trait not many people possess, but Vikings are slacking off a little bit in this quarter.
Indeed, losing the ball yet again and getting another turnover here, Simon Fraser. As number 5, Nolan Nelson, gets it out to number 27, Brendan Craig, who's had a goal in the night, and we're going to get a shot on goal, and it's going to be misfired by number 7, Aiden Cateau, as Simon Fraser's trying to get the ball around to everyone on this at this point. They're trying to get they're trying to find what DVC so-called finds the weak points and not paying attention to at this moment, and they're trying to get goals from those attackmen.
Yeah, with 45 seconds left, Simon Fraser's in a pretty good spot here to do pretty much whatever they want. They could just pass the ball around, take some time off, and try to get another shot, go up by 4 before halftime.
As we see a different attempt by number 19, Jordan Roberts, and it's going to nutmeg through the legs of number 15, Dylan Brown. And Simon Fraser's going to go up by 4. Here with 30 seconds left to go in the second quarter, as Simon Fraser goes up 10-6.
Yeah, Simon Fraser scored same amount of goals
Timeout Vikings.
this quarter as DVC scored all game. That's not a good sign if you're the DVC team after a tough loss last game they played.
Indeed, and as Simon Fraser puts up yet again another goal here in the second quarter by the hands of number 19, Jordan Roberts. We see a little bit higher of a score differential here at Viking Stadium, and we're going to be tuned back in here for Viking Lacrosse on Watch DVC Sports. As we come back out with 30 seconds left to go here, just about 33 seconds left, as Simon Fraser is up 10-6 here against the Diablo Valley College Vikings. And showing some resiliency here, trying to pull away from the Vikings, but as we see an intense face-off here by both teams, and DVC is going to come out on top. As number 7, Paul Newpower, took that out from the face-off.
It was nice to see DVC win a face-off right there. They haven't won very many since the first quarter.
Indeed, we saw that with the success of being able to win the face-offs in the first quarter, seeing the transition for them to be able to get shots on goal and success on shots on goal, and the production made, and then seeing their ability to produce in the face-offs in the second quarter and them being not able to win all of them. Definitely showed the difference in that second quarter with Simon Fraser.
Yeah, exactly what went good for the Vikings in the first quarter went bad for them in the second quarter. They were very good in the first quarter, not a lot of turnovers, and in the second quarter was the exact opposite, not winning many face-offs. But Vikings are going to go into this halftime. You know that they're going to talk. You know they're going to get through it, and they'll come out probably pretty aggressive to start the third quarter.
Indeed, and the table's turning a little bit there for DVC from first to second quarter, but definitely a positive advantage there in the second quarter there by Simon Fraser, as they were able to get some key turnovers there, being able to seize down on the DVC attacksmen, being able to get 2-on-1 efforts and even 3-on-1 efforts from their defensemen.
Yeah, DVC, they started with good defense, and it looked like it kind of was still there. They just had a couple, just when they did have their mishaps, Simon Fraser took full advantage of it.
Indeed. And we've seen a relentless effort here by DVC as they're trying to take down the 9-time PNCLL conference champions from Simon Fraser. And a continuous effort here, but they're down by 4 here going into halftime. And what else do you think are some goals coming out of the halftime here for DVC?
Well, on offense for DVC, it looked like they had a lot of shots on goal that quarter. They were just missing. A lot of the shots that were close, they just happened to miss a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. And on defense, I would just say try sticking with your defender. Simon Francis has had a lot of open shots on goal throughout the whole first half. I look for that to change, hopefully, in the second.
All right, and we're going to wrap it up here for the first half, and we're going to come back for this intense matchup here at Viking Stadium, and you're tuned into Viking Lacrosse here as Simon Fraser is up 10-6 against the Diablo Valley College Vikings. As we're going to come back here after halftime, and you're tuned into Vikings Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. As we tune back into the second half of this matchup for Vikings lacrosse. Production team of Logan Nones and Brandon Greco here presenting on Watch DVC Sports. And DVC is going to take it out, win the face-off here. And we're on in the second half, and the clock is ticking. And we're going to see some keys here in the second half. And what do you think we got to see here? We're going to see here in the second half, Brandon Greco.
I think that the Vikings are going to come out a little bit more aggressive than we saw them in the second quarter. I think that they might bring it back to how they were in the first quarter instead of maybe try to pass the ball around. Maybe just look for the early shots on goal to get back into this game.
And trying to sneak one in there is number 23, Zach Dixon, trying to get one in there below the knees on the goalie, but it's not going to work for DVC as Simon Fraser gets it back off to their side, and that's going to be number 14, Cam Way, receiving it, getting it down into the end zone of DVC here on the football field.
Yeah, what I said about the Vikings, you might see the exact opposite with this SFU team. They might just try to be a little bit slow and methodical with the ball and just try to take some time off the clock and just strike whenever they feel the time is right.
And some of that slow, methodical strategy coming out as Simon Fraser tries to get into the interior of the DVC defense there on that one, but a great defense there by number 29, Michael St. Germain. And as Simon Fraser gets into the interior, as number 6, Alan Gain, gets into the interior of DVC. And it's not enough there on the effort, but we've seen Gain get into the interior of the DVC defense on this one, in this matchup, multiple times, about 5 times in this matchup.
Yeah, there's been a lot of wide open shots right in front of the goal. This SFU team is doing a really good job of penetrating the Vikings defense. And
not saying that it's open shots due to the effort from DVC, but it's open shots due to the effort from the Simon Fraser attacksman on this one. Yeah, being able to show some elusiveness and getting the shots open that they want.
As we noted earlier, this SFU team they possess a lot of speed, it seems like, coming out on the edge, and that's putting a lot of pressure on the Viking defenders.
And a little attempt at the alley-oop pass to number 23, Zach Dixon, no good. On the attempt on goal on that one. Not enough for DVC as Simon Fraser gets it off, and that's number 16, Liam O'Connor, off to getting it passed into the midfield as number 8, Ethan McLaren, takes it off to the right side, and McLaren and that's going to be a misfire there by number 3, Mark Yingling. And a good deflection there by DVC, but it's going to land into the hands of a Simon Fraser attacksman, and that's going to be an interior pass attempt into number 7, Aiden Cateau, but that's going to be deflected and back over to DVC as number 10, Magnum Wrestler Miller, is going to be able to stride on the left side for DVC, getting it back over to their side of midfield. And number 20, Wesley Yoss, near the 30-yard line on the DVC football field as he continues to get jabbed here by the number 1, Olin McCulloch, the defender here, standing at 6'1", 185 pounds, a sophomore for Simon Fraser. Playing some good post-up defense on this one, but Yoss showing some relentless effort, getting a pass to Madden, and Madden's going to have a shot on goal, but it's going to be off. And a race to the ball. And that's going to be won by DVC, and Zach Dixon's going to bring it in to get a pass into number 18, Henry Wong. Number 18, Ryan Dixon.
Even though
But it's not gonna
DVC
be
didn't
enough.
score on that play, it was good hustle by DVC. You see their players diving to get that possession of the ball, make sure that they're getting it. They're showing good hustle and fight, trying to get back into this game. You should expect results probably coming pretty soon.
Indeed, the level of intensity and effort not dimming at all here for DVC, but seems that they cannot find a break here as that ball is deflected out of bounds, and it's going to go back to Simon Fraser. And the call is going to be overturned, so then it's going to go back to DVC as they get the possession here on this one. And as the clock ticks down more and more, we're about 10.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter as SFU still leads DVC 10-6 here. As DVC tries to get an inch of freedom here on this one, and there's going to be a shot on goal by number 18, Ryan Dixon, but not good enough there, and that's going to be a turnover here. And as a little bit of a miscommunication here, as number 22, Arjan Singh, fell to his knees, and it seemed to be a little bit of unnecessary roughness there by Pimentel. And he's going to have to be called off of the field on this one. Spend a little time off as Simon Fraser gets back to the possession on this one. And play will resume here at Vikings Stadium.
For those watching right now, the score of this game and the Vikings being down 4 has nothing to do with the level of intensity or effort that they're putting in. It just comes down to Simon Fraser executing on the DVC mistakes and DVC not being able to execute as well as Simon Fraser has throughout this game, mostly in the second quarter.
Indeed, and showing a great amount of productivity in that second quarter with Simon Fraser. Being able to put up 5 unanswered goals against the DVC Vikings. As DVC gets a possession back. And our newly entered goalie, number 8, Carter Monahan, takes the ball in for DVC as they get it off to their side. And a little bit of a misfooting there by number 7, Paul Newpower, and it's going to go back to DVC as number 32, Danny Wilson, gets it back in. And Newpower is going to take it up. Newpower is going to receive it from Johnny Madden. And he's going to get it out to Dixon as the pace yet again slows down for the Vikings. We're going to see if this is able to be productive and efficient on these offensive possessions, but we have not yet seen this slow-paced offense be successful yet here for the Vikings.
Yeah, even though it's not quite halfway through the third quarter, but you're down by 4. There's still plenty of game left, but Vikings are going to have to start doing something in order to get back into this game.
And then we see there yet and again another turnover with the slow-paced attack there, and they're going to give it right back to Simon Fraser. And Simon Fraser is going to come out and have a great, aggressive, urgent attempt at getting shots on goal. For DVC has slowed their pace down, but Simon Fraser has no point of slowing down in this matchup, and it seems that they're not going to have any give here.
No, the Vikings just changed their goalie. He was sitting on the bench the first half, so you might look for the Simon Fraser offense to come out a little bit more aggressive than they have been coming up. Maybe test the waters a little bit with the new goalie. Nice save there, though.
Indeed, and like you said, they were going to test the waters from the new entered goalie, number 8, Carter Monahan, and he's going to get the save on that one. And from a shot out from the right hash mark, about 30 feet out right there, trying to sneak one in on the newly entered goalie for DVC. But a great defensive play there by Monahan, number 8. As DVC tries to spurt some offensive hope here, and it's going to be another misfired pass as that goes out of bounds. And Simon Fraser's going to get it back and continue to hold on to this 10-6 score differential here by 4 points.
Yeah, it doesn't totally look like this DVC team is on the same page right now. Everyone kind of doing their own thing. You see, we talk about the pace of their offense. Some players are going a little bit faster than others. Some players are trying to take it a little bit more relaxed, but hopefully pretty soon they'll get on the same page and get this figured out. Otherwise, it might not be a good next quarter and a half for the Vikings of lacrosse.
Indeed, we see that chemistry flow through the way that the offense is being able to be efficient. That all relies on chemistry, and we have not seen that that chemistry very strong here by the DVC attacksmen, but definitely seeing able to click here for Simon Fraser as we get a behind-the-back shot on goal here. And there's going to be a crease violation here against Simon Fraser, as he entered into the ozone layer, the forbidden Bermuda Triangle of lacrosse. As we're going to see a little bit of a fight here near midfield, and that's going to be a lost possession here, and it's going to go back to Simon Fraser. As number 5, Nolan Nelson, taking across behind the goal, trying to find a good seam in the crease here as he gets a pass up to number 3, Mark Yingling, and it's going to be a shot on goal, and it's going to be misfired there, but we're going to have another attempt here as we're going to find some elusiveness trying to get into the crease, and he's going to get a shot on goal, but yet again another test for the newly entered goalie, and yet again he's going to shut it down.
Yeah, he didn't start this game, and he's now making the most of his opportunity, and he want to make his presence felt.
Indeed, that was a great save yet again by number 8, Carter Monahan, out of College Park High School. But that's going to be another turnover yet again for the Vikings. And we saw some spurt of hope on that one, but they just turned that ball over right back to him, right back over to Simon Fraser. And that's just unfortunate right there.
Yeah, it is. It looked like he was running down the sideline. He had some space in front of him, but he stopped. He made a little bit of a sporadic pass, maybe trying to get something done a little bit quicker than he should have. There's aggression, but that looked to be a little bit too aggressive. I know that we've been going back and forth on the pace, but it looks like everyone's just not in sync right now, a little bit out of sorts.
Indeed, being aggressive to the point of attack where they can get a shot on goal and a clear shot on goal with their feet set, but, being able to find that balance between aggression and composed offense here is DVC trying to find that balance, but they're struggling a little bit here, and Simon Fraser has kept this score difference in the entirety of the third quarter with about 4 minutes left here at Vikings Stadium as they keep this lead, and they're going to keep the possession on this one, keeping the ball moving around the goal for DVC is Simon Fraser as number 5, Nolan Nelson, gets into the interior and trying to find a opening in the crease for DVC, and that's going to be a misfired shot as DVC gets the possession back here.
Yeah, you're seeing the same thing from DVC that you saw in their last game against Sierra Nevada. They came out strong in the first quarter, but after that they're kind of struggling to get something done. But last game they had a strong third quarter. They put up some good shots on goals. They scored, but so far nothing yet since about 1 second remaining in the end of the first quarter.
Indeed, and correct you are. They have not been able to produce in this quarter at all, but we're going to take a break here quickly as we have a timeout called. And yet again, we're waiting to see a score here in the third quarter as Simon Fraser is up 10-6 still with 3 minutes and 39 seconds to go here in this third quarter at Vikings Stadium. And you're tuned into Viking Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. Lights, camera, action. We're back here in Vikings Stadium. About 3.5 minutes to go. Here for Saturday Night Lights for Vikings Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. You're tuned into Vikings Lacrosse.
Yeah, the pace of this third quarter has picked up from the first half, but there's been no shot, or haven't really been that many shots on goal. No goals scored. I will look for the Vikings to hopefully come out a little bit more aggressive and under control in this possession.
Indeed, controlled, but controlled aggression, as we've seen them be able to be composed, but a little bit too composed on these ones, as they've had a little bit slower tempo on their attacks in this past quarter. So we're gonna see if they can get some interior passes and some good aggression shown. Maybe some more quicker moves into the interior of the Simon Fraser defense here on this one for the attacksmen.
The Vikings just need to find a little bit more balance in their offensive game. Their defense is holding up nicely. They definitely
shot on goal here by Pimentel.
Some of the mistakes they were making last quarter, they're not making anymore. As you could tell, their defense is holding up nicely. They haven't given anything up yet.
Indeed, and kind of a stalemate here in this third quarter for the differences in scoring has not really gone up a little bit, but great defensive displays here in this third quarter, being able to get some deflections and being able to hold shots on goal to a minimum for both teams.
Yeah, I think SFU's only had 3, maybe 4 shots on goal this quarter.
And an excellent save there by Simon Fraser's goalie, number 13, Tej Greywall. Or Grewal, excuse me. The 6 foot, 165-pound junior.
Simon Fraser stuck to the same pace this whole third quarter. They're slow, methodical. They're just trying to find the right shot. They're not going to push anything, but that's exactly what you could do when you have a 4-point lead on the other team going into the last quarter. Really, all the stress is on the other team, and they know that.
An interior pass to number 3, Mark Yingling, and yet again he strikes, and it's good for Simon Fraser as they go up 11-6 here with 1 minute and 24 seconds to go in the third quarter. But we see Mark Yingling, number 3, striking yet again tonight for Simon Fraser.
Yep, just seems like the Vikings were up 6-4, 7 straight goals scored by Simon Fraser, and that quickly they're down 11-6. Hopefully, they just got to put a stop to this. Got to get a couple of shots on goal, get that momentum change going.
And that was an excellent job there, getting some spacing in for the interior for number 3, Mark Yingling, and he just had an open shot. It was a one-on-one chance on the goalie on that one, and he just had no chance facing off on that one.
Yeah, it was wide open, about 15 yards from the net, and he just let it rip right to the back of the net.
Indeed, let it rip he did, as he just had an open pass, and it was a perfect feed. He had his feet set. He had enough time, no defenders closing down on him, and he just let it rip into that goal.
Yep. You can see their offense is pretty much coming into form right now. They know exactly what they want to do. It kind of looks like they're just toying with the Vikings defense.
Indeed, and they're just clicking on all cylinders at this point as they go up by 5. Simon Fraser. As we almost get a chance at an interior shot on goal, but a little bit of missed footing there by number 16, Liam O'Connor. And that's going to be number 2, Bruno Bonato, getting the ball out. And that's going to be number 5, Nolan Nelson, taking it off to the bottom of the screen here.
As my partner mentioned before we took a halftime break, the St. Francis team is getting a good job. Everyone's touching the ball. Everyone's passing the ball really nicely.
And attempting to get more ball movement there, but that's going to be an offsides call against Simon Fraser, and that's going to go back to DVC. And DVC is going to try and get a shot on goal with the remaining seconds of the third quarter, and that's not going to be enough there on that effort for a shot on goal as time ticks down. Here at Vikings Stadium, we enter into the fourth quarter. Put your fours up. And Simon Fraser is up 11-6 against the Vikings, getting a shot on goal late in the third quarter against the Vikings on that shot there by Mark Yingling, as we've seen him be efficient and productive here for the SFU offense and the attacksmen.
Yeah, that's definitely a name that you've heard often. Same with number 1, Owen McCulloch on defense. He's done a good job making his presence felt on defense, contesting some shots and getting everyone's way.
Indeed, great defensive stops here by number 13. Standout Tej Grawal, the goalie, standing at 6 feet, 165 pounds. And we're going to be tuned back into you after a quick break here after your third quarter, as Simon Fraser is up 11-6 here at Vikings Stadium. And you're tuned into Vikings Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. Mick Mac Patty Whack, give a dog a bone. We're back here in Vikings Stadium for the fourth quarter. As Simon Fraser's up 11-6 here against the Vikings as the fourth quarter gets going here. And DVC's going to win the faceoff. And it's going to be a little bit of a misguided pass here, and it's going to bounce around, rumble and tumble, and it's going to keep rolling around. And Simon Fraser's going to get the possession back, and that's number 1, Owen McCulloch. Yet again, a reoccurring theme here in tonight's matchup, and you were just saying it right there as we're wrapping up the third quarter. A reoccurring defender, name popping up again and again. Owen McCulloch, number 1, as we get the clock adjusted here.
Yeah, the Vikings started out, they won the faceoff, but number 11, Jake Pimentel, never really had a handle on it. But it's nice to see that the Vikings got the possession back.
Indeed, nice indeed, but not very nice for the Simon Fraser defense, as they wanted that possession badly. And they're going to get it. It's going to go back into the hands of a Falcons defender, and he's going to have a little bit of an ill-advised pass there, and there's going to be a little rubbing shoulders in there into the interior of the... And there's going to be some open space found there by the Vikings attacksman, and he's going to get it off to Zach Dixon, and yet again, a great defensive save there by number 13, Tej Grawal, the goalie.
Yeah, something that we saw the last game against Sierra Nevada, that they came out strong in the first quarter, kind of looked a little bit sluggish in the second, a little bit in the third, and came out strong in the fourth. Hopefully that'll happen again and they can make up this 5-point deficit, remaining 13 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Indeed, we have plenty of time left for DVC to come back and try to surpass their opponent in this matchup, but they're going to have to start getting some goals here quickly.
Yeah, they are. I'm surprised that they weren't a little bit more aggressive in that third quarter, a little bit patient with their shots, patient with their opportunities. I guess you got to do that in order to get the right shot, but and we're going to start maybe pressing a little bit here with the remaining 13 minutes left, so hopefully that doesn't get to them, and there hopefully won't be too many more turnovers.
Indeed, we saw a more composed DVC attack on this one, and maybe that was possibly as we see yet again another save by Simon Fraser's goalie on that one. But we saw a little bit more composed offense here by DVC's attacksmen, but possibly that's just because of the small amount of openings allowed by SFU here tonight.
Yeah, and I think we haven't really said his name a lot, the goalie for Simon Fraser, he's been making a lot of plays. Tej Gruel, and I don't know, I think he might have to deserve a little bit more credit. He's had a lot of stops on goals. Vikings have got a lot of pressure. It's not lack of effort. They're getting their shots up. Just a lot of saves, a lot of good defense.
Indeed, they're getting some time on possession and shots on goal, but Simon Fraser just locking them down here tonight in Vikings Stadium. And we're going to take a break here as we get a timeout here, and Simon Fraser still leading DVC 11-6 here in the fourth quarter. And we're going to welcome you back here after a quick break, and you're tuned into Vikings Lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. As we get back into action here at Vikings Stadium, Simon Fraser having the possession. And we've seen Simon Fraser here having more time on possession here. Being able to distribute the ball, have some good ball moving around goal. And we're going to get a shot on goal by number 3 yet again, Mark Yingling. The Empire strikes back. Mark Yingling yet again putting Simon Fraser up 12-6.
What is that now? 8 straight unanswered goals for the Vikings, or for Simon Fraser in this one?
Indeed, yes it is. For they had that good third quarter where they were having the unanswered goals. And here we go. Another one here in the fourth quarter just to open it up. And yes, like you said, 8 unanswered goals here by Simon Fraser. Showing some great defense, but DVC is going to win a face-off, but they've been a little bit sloppy here with the ball, being able to turn it over here and giving it to Simon Fraser anytime they get a little bit of burst opportunity.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's been the one difference between these two teams. Both teams are getting their shots on goals, but Simon Fraser just happens to execute a little bit more.
As DVC gets an interior pass, and behind the back is number 18, Ryan Dixon.
There we go. That was the Vikings' first goal since 1 second left in the first quarter.
My goodness. Skinning the hair off the back of his neck is number 18, Ryan Dixon, on the shot on goal on that one. And like you said, they have not scored a goal since the first period in this one.
Yeah, it's been over half hour of gameplay since the Vikings have scored. That's only down by 5, but It's a little bit tough to make up against this really good Simon Fraser team right now.
Indeed, over 30 minutes elapsed, and it took a goal from DVC here in the fourth quarter to break that hiatus here. And DVC is going to get the ball back here as number 18, Ryan Dixon's going to get into the interior, showing a little post-move action, trying to show shades of Jordan in the interior and not getting it off.
Yeah, he was right up in front of the goal. Just another great save by the goalie there.
As Johnny Madden gets it out to Zach Dixon, and Dixon getting a screen from New Power. And Dixon gets it back out to Madden, and Madden takes it across the middle of the field. Back to New Power. New Power takes it off to the left side, and showing some good movement here is DVC. Trying to get an interior pass, but Simon Fraser showing no remorse here and giving no cushion for the DVC attacksmen, and they're just pouncing on him. And strong, consistent defense displayed here by Simon Fraser for over 3/4 of action for it to get a goal here from the Vikings.
Yeah, the Simon Fraser defense is really just not letting up on the Vikings. You saw that after the Vikings just scored their last goal, they got that face-off, had a wide open lane, but that Simon Fraser defense closed quickly and missed him to miss right. A little bit of physicality going down on the field right now. Things might be getting a little bit chippy down there.
Indeed, and we've seen Simon Fraser not let up on the gas pedal with their aggression, and we're going to have a shot on goal on that one, but that's going to go off the left post by Zach Dixon, and then Ryan Dixon's going to get the shot on goal in an attempt, but it's going to be wide right on the attempt on that one.
Yeah, some of the shots for the Vikings, it looks like they're missing by less than a foot each direction.
Indeed, less than a foot. I give it a couple inches, Brandon Greco, and we're going to get an interior pass as a stick is accidentally lost on that one by a Simon Fraser defender, but DVC's going to retrieve it. And Zach Dixon's going to get into the interior, and he's going to dive and try to get a shot on goal, and that's going to be off to the left, but there's going to be a penalty flag as I believe the Simon Fraser defenders were trying to lay their sticks into Dixon as he was trying to dive and shoot.
Yeah, he got tripped up a little bit there, felt a little bit awkward, so got the shot off, but...
Indeed, as he's a little shaken up on that one, feeling the pressure from the Simon Fraser defenders. And like I was saying earlier, relentless D here by Simon Fraser.
Yeah, they are not letting up. It's going to be hard for DVC to try to get these 5 goals, but you saw in the first quarter they scored 6, and that's exactly what they'll need here if they want to win this game. Their defense has done a good job in the second half of not letting up. I think they've given up 2 goals since halftime. Their defense is doing a good job. The Vikings offense just has to help their team out and step up a little bit.
Indeed, a great defensive display, but they're going to need some production from the offense if they're going to want to come back with a little bit under 9 minutes left to go in this matchup. But they're going to have to get things going in order to come back in this matchup. But they've had time of possession, but here we go as we see relentless Simon Fraser D on this one. And we can see it's been pretty bothersome to the DVC attacksmen, for they have started to get a little bit chippy and a little bit irritated at the defense that they're displaying. Because it's so locked down, you start to get a little bit annoyed and a little bit flustered, and they're showing some frustration down there on the field.
Well, yeah, these Simon Fraser defenders, they're not scared. They're getting right up in the face of these Vikings offensive players, and they're just letting them know they traveled a long way for this game, and they're here to play. They didn't come over here just to fold. They're putting up a good fight.
Indeed, and the fight that they're showing is a perfect example, like you said. And seeing a play like that, seeing the effort from the defender, number 19, Jordan Roberts. That's the midfielder and attacksman, as we have called his name tonight, scoring a goal earlier in the game. Number 19, Jordan Roberts. And like you were saying, the effort is just undeniable in this one. It's just uncomparable with any other team in this matchup. It's great to see the effort showed from these junior college players and able to see them keep up with the effort with a university like Simon Fraser.
Yeah, Simon Fraser is a good university, and DVC knew that going in. They knew that it wasn't going to be an easy matchup. I think even though Simon Fraser lost their last game, but with that, they looked to bounce back and get right back in the win column against the Vikings.
As DVC has a little bit of misfooting there, but it's going to be taken out. And just every move trying to be put on here by the DVC attacksman, and just messy ball handling, and just no chance of getting any open space here from the Simon Fraser defense as the clock keeps on ticking, but definitely a relentless effort here by the DVC attacksman.
Yeah, with Thunder, we've passed the halfway point in this quarter now, and the Vikings, they've done a good job on defense, but their offense isn't really helping out the defense that much. That's going to have to change here really quickly if they're going to get back into this game and try to tie it up or even get the win.
Indeed, and a shot on goal there by Johnny Madden by about 25 feet out. It was a pretty deep shot, possibly a shot in the dark on that one, but just trying to get a spark of some offense here as time continues to run down. I don't blame him for trying to get something going, but not much of an opportunity there from the lockdown Simon Fraser defenders.
Yeah, at this point it's going to be hard for the Vikings to not get too out of control and try to take every possible shot, but in order to get your goals in the back of the net, you're going to have to take some time. You're going to have enough patience, but
as Simon Fraser gets it down to the bottom to your right side of the screen, and to the top of the screen it goes, and it's going to be passed back down to number 5, Nolan Nelson. Nolan Nelson surveying, and Simon Fraser showing some strategy here, trying to burn some clock yet again, spreading the field out, getting an interior pass on this one, a little bit of misguided, and that's going to be picked up and evacuating the premises on that one is number 3, Mark Yingling, a key component, for we have called his name numerous times in this matchup, showing great productivity for the SFU offense.
yeah, the SFU team, that they have their core players and they're all showing up. You've heard all their names called multiple times tonight, and they're not going to let up anytime soon. Even with this much time left, they know that just like a snap of a finger, this gate can be tied up. They're going to continue to try to step on the throats of the Vikings players.
Indeed, trying to put the foot on the gas pedal. We're trying to get another shot on goal there from Simon Fraser was number 7, Aiden Cateau, but DVC gets it back on their side of the field, and trying to spurt some offense here as time keeps on ticking in this matchup, as they're down by 5 and a little bit over 4 minutes left. They're going to have to get some offense spurted in quick spurts here very quickly for the offense.
Yeah, it's just going to have to start being rapid fire on the goal. I know that I was talking about patience, but with this little time, you're just going to have to start taking some shots on goal, I feel like, to get back into this game.
Indeed, shots on goal, but perfectly strategized shots on goal.
Well, yeah,
being
it's not
aggressive,
just any shot.
being productive, and being aggressive and composed. And right there, as we were talking about, they get the shot on goal that they want.
One-handed goal, Vikings.
And with the one-handed shot, the Vikings narrow the deficit to 12-8. Here with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. And getting a little spark here for the offense, trying to narrow this deficit with only about 3.5 minutes left, trying to get these quick-fire shots on goal here at the Vikings. But Simon Fraser showing no break in what they're trying to produce here and their lead that they have.
Yeah, the Vikings, they've scored now 2 straight goals against Simon Fraser, but you got to hope they have a couple more left in them before the night's over. And
Simon Fraser just showing a great display of being able to separate themselves with the lead, and being able to hold the fort down with what they've got. And as they show right here, and they're going to keep that pedal to the metal on this one, and that's going to be a goal. And they're going to separate themselves within 10 seconds of the last goal. And Simon Fraser coming out of the face-off victorious, and then getting the shot on goal right off the bat, striking back against DVC's attacksman. Only 9 seconds shedded off the clock. And on the field, it was actually 7 seconds shedded off the clock for that goal to be made, as Simon Fraser goes up 13-8 and gets that ratio back to normal for themselves, as they make it even more difficult for DVC as time continues to run down in this ball game.
Yep, that immediately just canceled out their last goal. But as I'm watching that, I'm looking at the Vikings defenders. You could tell that they have a sense of urgency. Everyone's hustling really good. Everyone looks like they're going after the ball. It just looks like this team is a little bit too quick.
Indeed, great hustle, but they're just losing opportunity here. They're just losing time in this matchup to be able to score. And Simon Fraser is going to come out with this possession. I do not see them necessarily trying to get a goal quickly on this one, but I would not be surprised if they got up by one more. But they're going to try and burn some clock here, spread the field out as much as they can, and try to eat up some of this clock here.
Yeah, and at this point for Simon Fraser, they're probably feeling pretty confident, up 5 with under 3 minutes now left to go. They're just going to hold the ball. They don't want anything to happen. They don't want any of their players to get hurt.
And just as you say that, they kind of try to get a shot on goal by number 14, Cam Way, trying to spread the love here. And that's going to be back into the hands of Way, and Way's going to get a shot on goal, and they're going to get another attempt. And they're going to get the shot that they want. They're going to go up by one more score here with 2.5 minutes left. Simon Fraser goes up 14-8 here at Vikings Stadium.
Yep, DVC did a good job trying to get back into this game, scoring those 2 goals. But Simon Fraser, they weren't having any of it. They just went right back at him and put 2 goals within, I think, a minute of each other, right back at DVC.
My goodness, they spent the trip. They used all the gas that they needed. They used all the money that they could to get the flight. And they came down here, and they were not going to be denied in this matchup. Yeah. They came from British Columbia, and I'm telling you, they brought the fight with them.
Yep, when you're coming this far, you're not just going to want to go full over. You know that they're going to be fighting until the very end, and that's exactly what's happening. Even though they were up 5, now they're up 6 again. They're just ready to get back into it.
They were not just trying to come here for avocados and In-N-Out. They were trying to get the dub here at Vikings Stadium. Showing no remorse for the Vikings offense on this one. Showing some great lockdown defense. Getting yet again another turnover for Simon Fraser. Just continuing to put the beat on the Vikings on this one. And like you said, the score differential not showing the effort and the resilience of the DVC defense, but yet again, it doesn't show the amount of lockdown defense that Simon Fraser has displayed in this matchup.
Yeah, ever since that first quarter, it looked like DVC was going to maybe try to blow Simon Fraser out of the water, but they've really done a good job of buckling down and only giving up 2 goals within just about 45 minutes.
And trying to spread a miraculous goal on that one is Zach Dixon. But it's going to be off the right post. And Dixon's going to get it into Ryan Dixon, number 18. And that's yet again going to be saved and picked up by number 13, Tej Graywall.
He's really done a great job all night for the
Yes, indeed.
Simon Fraser team.
Yes, indeed. Number 13, Tej. I'd like to call him Tej Brickwall, for he's showed great resilience tonight and great deflections, getting some good saves on the night. And time keeps on ticking, and it seems to me that DVC is losing their opportunity in about the last minute of play here. And Simon Fraser is going to continue to make some ball movement, but DVC is going to try and get a quick goal here, and there's going to be some flags thrown as time starts to wind down. DVC's not not giving in here, but they're starting to show some frustration as they're trying to get goals in the entire game and trying to get some good attacks in on the zones from Simon Fraser's defense, but just not finding the holes that they wanted to be able to get some good interior passes and shots on goal that they wanted. They did get some shots on goal, but they weren't necessarily the set shots that they wanted to get passes into the interior, for they were just shots from outside that were just kind of deep and not really set up with the feet that they wanted.
Yeah, with the Simon Fraser defense, as you saw in the first quarter, they gave up 6 goals. But ever since then, the few open holes that they've given up, they've closed very quickly against this Vikings offense, and they have made it very tough for them to get really anywhere close within the net.
Indeed, and we're going to get a timeout called here from DVC, and we're going to take a quick break here in the last minute in the closing sections of this Vikings lacrosse matchup here at Vikings Stadium as Simon Fraser leads the Diablo Valley College Vikings 14-8 here in Pleasant Hill, California. We're going to take a break here, and you're tuned into Vikings lacrosse here on Watch DVC Sports. You smell that? It smells like bacon. And we're back here at Vikings Stadium, and we're coming back with the last minute here in Vikings Stadium as we smell some barbecue brewing here. A nice cold windy night here in Pleasant Hill, California, as the darkness sets over Mount Diablo. And we get the ball back in, and the possession is for DVC as they're down by 6 points here. And, there's not much they could really do here with the last minute, but we're playing for pride here. And, what else do you think here are the last keys in the last minute here for DVC, Brandon Greco?
I mean, there's under a minute left, and they're down 6. At this point, I would just try to not get hurt. You don't want to have anyone get hurt right now in this garbage time. You're just trying to keep the game going, maybe get another shot on goal. Little extended practice.
Indeed, as we're going to get a shot a little wide right here with 36 seconds to go. And like you said, it's like right now is a little bit of a wasted time, but yet again, it's not really wasted time because they're going to continue to put their efforts forward, and they're going to put all the work that they put in this week into this last 30 seconds because they don't want to have any wasted time. Even though they're down by 6 points, they're going to try and get a shot on goal and continue to play hard until the last whistle.
Yep, that's really all you could ask for if you're coaching a team. Just no matter what the score is, just don't give up. Just keep fighting. Try to put it on them.
As a little bit of misguided guidance here.
Kind of surprising. You see a flag come in with under 20 seconds.
It was under 10 seconds to go, and he threw a flag. So I'm going to be surprised here at what they call. I wouldn't doubt if they just called it off, but Simon Fraser is going to be victorious in this matchup from Vikings Stadium as they come out on top of the Diablo Valley College Vikings 14-8 as they travel all the way from British Columbia here to Pleasant Hill, California. And they come out successful, and they make their trip worthwhile here, didn't they, Brandon Greco?
Yeah, they came out a little bit sluggish on defense, but after that first quarter, I don't know what their coach said or what the players said to fire them up. They just would not give up any room to the Vikings. They had 45 minutes after the first quarter, and there was really just like a 3-minute stretch after that where the Vikings offense kind of took control, where they scored their last 2 goals, but other than that, it was just a little bit sporadic, a little bit sloppy.
Indeed, and about, like you said, a 45-minute difference between goals from the Vikings in the last closing sections of the first quarter all the way until the fourth quarter for them to score a goal. And that just is a great display of the defense that was displayed here tonight by Simon Fraser. And what do you think the keys were for that defense here from Simon Fraser?
Well, they did a good job of when they had open holes, like I mentioned earlier, they closed early. They were quick on recovery. Whenever there was looked like there was going to be an open shot, the Simon Fraser defense closed really quick and stopped DVC from gaining any momentum in this game whatsoever.
Indeed, anytime it seemed like an attacksman had a one-on-one matchup, Simon Fraser would come in and have a 2-on-1 or that 3-on-1 matchup that they would want to get that turnover, to force that turnover from DVC that they wanted. And we saw success tonight from that defense. And also getting shots on goal, key standout for Simon Fraser tonight was number 3, Mark Yingling, the 5'11", 185-pound freshman, the attacksman for Simon Fraser, as he was able to get good shots on goal and show some great efficiency and productivity tonight for their offense.
Yeah, he definitely made his presence felt tonight. He did a good job of stepping up for his team and putting them on the back. As you mentioned, we called his name a lot. He took a lot of shots. He made a good amount, and that's just why he's playing so much, to do exactly that.
Indeed, and we're also gonna highlight tonight the goalie from Simon Fraser, number 13, Tej Gruel, the 6', 165-pound junior out of Mission Secondary, British Columbia, from Mission, British Columbia, and he had a great match tonight. Even though there was 8 goals put up tonight for the Vikings, he showed great ability to deflect and have some great saves tonight.
Yeah, the saves or the goals that he gave up in the first quarter, there were a good amount of open shots the Vikings had that closed in the remaining quarters of the game, but he did a good job of helping this team out. The Vikings had a lot of shots on goal. They just happened to not be successful, and they didn't take advantage of as many opportunities as this Simon Fraser team did.
Yes, indeed. And like you said, all the way up from the first whistle all the way to the last whistle, the Diablo Valley College Vikings showing relentless effort, regardless of what the score is, showing some aggression and physicality no matter what it is, whatever the score differential is. But they're going to continue to show fight and continuous effort shown by leaders such as like number 20, Wesley Yost, or Zach Dixon, number 23, or number 18, Ryan Dixon, showing great ability to get some good ball movement and interior passes and get some shots on goal, but just not enough effort tonight for the Vikings against Simon Fraser.
Yeah, another name you didn't mention was Paul Newpower. You heard his name a lot too. He did a good job of kind of facilitating for this team. He had the ball most of the game, I feel like, when the Vikings were on offense, but just couldn't get the job done.
Indeed, more facilitation needed next week for the Vikings. As we close up this matchup here in Vikings Stadium, the Simon Fraser Falcons coming atop the DVC Vikings, this one 14-8, and the Diablo Valley College Vikings will be facing off against St. Mary's, I believe, next week for their next matchup. And we're wrapping it up here at Vikings Stadium, here from your production team on Watch DVC Sports. And Simon Fraser is going to come atop this one 14-8 against the Diablo Valley College Vikings. And we're glad to have you tonight, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's show and broadcast. And we're going to be brought to you next week, I believe, for Vikings Lacrosse. And you were tuned into Vikings Lacrosse here with Logan Nones and my partner right here, Brandon Greco.
Nice working with you, Logan.
And we'll be back, and tune in next time to Vikings Lacrosse on Watch DVC Sports.